Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Toonkind at 12 frames per second. I am Authorticity. I will be playing the Ticked Off Chicken, and I am joined by...
Hello, I am DeeDeeFlowers, also known as Dee, and I will be playing the Frog Dad, Phileap Poisson Dart, and a couple other people, but you'll find out about that later.
I can't get over that nickname, or that, not the nickname, the last name. Gosh.
Yeah. Listen, I thought it'd be funny to have I thought it'd be funny, and so I did it. That's all I need to do.
You're valid. You're extremely valid.
Yeah, and as Kraken did point out, it's spelled Poisson, like poisson, because I thought it'd be funny to name the frogfish. So that was intentional.
Mm-hmm. Well, Kraken named a seagull Atracilla. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah. So how's the chicken doing?
Well,
on this fine day,
the Ticked Off Chicken, is having a pretty normal day for now. They are, they're trying to read, the book that Turpin recommended to them, the Elven Widow, I believe. And they have decided to take it outside because it's, one of those nice days in, late October where you kind of understand that you're not going to get too many of them before winter.
Mm-hmm.
And, they've picked out, a nice tree, that's a downhill from, the rest of the park. And they have their book, they have their little glasses perched on their beak, and they're just vibing.
Oh, I love the little glasses on the chicken. It's very good. Do you want to make a perception check?
Absolutely, I like to make a perception check with their very good glasses that they got from, the game they were in recently. Come over to the roll zone. Well, Ooh. That's the 11.
Well, it's over a 10, so I'll give it to you. You hear an odd sound that sounds a bit like a bowling ball rolling down a hill, which is probably not something you'd hear at a park. Do you want to... What do you want to do with this information?
I think they're going to look uphill, because that's where most of the things are, and also where if they're going to get, I don't know, crushed by a boulder, it's probably where that's going to come from.
Well, it's definitely not the size of a boulder. It is a lot smaller than that. It's about the size of a very small bowling ball, and it looks like a water tank or a marble, and it's just rolling down the hill. And do you want to investigate that further, or just kind of stare at it a bit more? Or
is it coming their way?
It is coming their way. You said that the chicken is down at the bottom of the hill, so it's definitely rolling down the hill, just with the force of gravity.
Okay. Well, I think they're going to put their book down, and they're going to think about taking out the pitchfork. But no, probably not. It looks relatively harmless, mostly. And I think they're going to just get ready to catch it. They will ready in action to attempt to catch this little water ball as it passes by, crashes into whatever it's going to do to them spatially.
Yeah, it's headed directly your way. So as it gets closer, you can hear a kind of distressed chirping sound coming from it.
Oh no.
Oh, there's something inside that thing. There's something vaguely purple and small inside that thing.
Okay, I think that actually prompts them to a little bit more proactive action. They will take they will hurry towards it and catch it before it gets more speed. What should I roll for this?
Ooh, I think dexterity might be good, or I'm trying to think of athletics. I don't know which one would be higher for the chicken, but
Let's see here.
Maybe even sleight of hand, since, like, I mean, the chicken doesn't have hands, but...
Well, their athletics is the best, so I'm going to go with that one if you'll indulge me.
No, please go ahead.
That's a 9.
Oh, no.
These parts are, my god.
Yeah, that's not high enough. It rolls past you, and I think, like, there is, like, a slow... Like, it goes in slow-mo for just a moment as the marble goes past you, and, oh, there's, like, a little guppy in there, and it's got, like, a little distressed, like, open-mouthed look to it, like, oh, what is happening? And then it just, like, time resumes, and it rolls past your legs.
I think that TOC's just gonna take a second to digest that, and then they'll hurry after it. My god.
Yeah, good.
By the way, they are an unarmored barbarian, so they get 80 feet with a dash action. Is that enough to just, like, catch up to this thing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, I would say this thing is going, like, it's basically a water ball. Like, it's like a water-filled marble. It's not going to move that fast. I would have said it would be, like, maybe, like, 40 feet, like on a small incline, like 60 feet at the most, depending on how large the incline is and how much force there is behind it. So, yeah, you catch this thing pretty easily. Do you want to describe how you catch this guy?
I think that they just sort of, like, field it like a soccer ball and, you know that sort of scoop maneuver that soccer players, or I guess football players, if you're not from the US, do, where they just sort of, like, redirect it sort of handily?
Oh, like, yeah, like with their legs, like, they kind of scoop it up with the bottom of their feet and, like...
Yeah, and, yeah, they just sort of neatly, and they, I guess they have a water ball with a friggin' tiny little thing in it.
You certainly do. And the thing looks very confused and very distressed. The moment it stopped, like, it's just kind of, like, still swirling inside the water ball. There are little, like, spirals over its eyes because, oh, wow, they're very dizzy. Like... Oh, no. But yeah, like, it's like, and eventually, like, the spirals go away and it, like, kind of, like, shakes itself and it looks a little distressed, like, and it, like, looks up at the chicken who's, like, holding it still. And then it kind of looks, actually, I'm just going to roll, like, a d20 for investigation, like...
Does this thing know what chicken is?
Oh, no. It doesn't know what to make of this chicken, but it knows that the chicken is not its daddy, and it is upset.
Oh.
Thing cannot... This little thing, it cannot cry. It's underwater, but it looks like if it could, it would be bawling, because they were spinning at a very scary pace, and dad's not here, siblings not here. Now is the time to cry.
You know what? That's understandable.
It
is extremely obvious that this is a baby, right? This is a child.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a baby. Like, upon, like, the thing, now that the thing is stopped, oh, it's a tadpole. So, yeah, this is a baby.
No, they're from a marsh. They probably know what a tadpole is. I think TOC is just gonna, like... Oh, sorry about that.
No worries.
I think that they just, like... I think that they just sort of settle on the ground and make themselves really fluffy. And they just sort of, like, tuck it underneath... Just sort of underneath their front, like an egg that they're trying to warm. And they're just, like, it was chirping earlier, so they're just gonna make little chirpy noises at it. Like, just, like, almost like it's, like, they would do to soothe a baby chick.
Oh, that's really good. Do you want to roll, like, I guess, like, a persuasion to, like, calm this little baby?
Persuasion, oh my gosh.
Or, like, and I can, like, roll, like, against it, just, like, a straight d20. I'll give you advantage, because, like, you're like a grandparent. You've dealt with, not a tadpole, but you've dealt with children. You've had
Yeah,
some experience.
they have a daughter. Like, yeah. That's an 8. That's an 18.
Oh, I feel like this goes like, oh, like the baby is kind of distressed, like by the darkness of being like fluffed, and it starts to chirp, let out more distressed little chirps, but then it's like, oh, making chirping noises like me, and it just makes a couple more tentative little chirping noises, like back at the chicken,
Yeah,
and it just begins kind of like, oh, okay, this is nice now. This seems familiar. This is not the sibling, but it's familiar.
yeah, I think, like, they mirror the chirping noises back. Like, just sort of like almost what you do with toddlers. Where, like, if they do baby talk, you do the same baby talk back at them to get their reaction.
Yeah.
It's like, I hear
Excellent.
you. You are being responded to. Don't be scared.
Oh. Yeah, the baby is like definitely like just talking back and just like, it's like it's slowly starting to calm down because this new thing is happening and they're no longer spinning. They're having a good time.
Gosh. God,
And
I don't know if the baby would make an insight check, but I'll tell you for free that TOC is dying. Like,
oh.
they know a lot of young people that, need a parental figure. And they have younger siblings who they adopted, like, so to speak, very recently. And they've dealt with 8-year-olds. They don't deal with a lot of, like, toddlers.
Yeah, and
Like,
this is baby.
this is baby. And they're just like they're very concerned that there was just a runaway infant in the park. And that's going to have to be dealt with. But for now, they're just like, holy Jesus, I would die for you in a heartbeat.
Oh, I don't think, did I ever describe like the infant in question, like besides the fact that they were a tadpole?
You said a purple tadpole?
Yeah, it's a purple tadpole with like little dot black eyes and like a kind of like a pale blue tail.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect in every
And
conceivable way.
yeah, but eventually like the babbling continues back and forth and like babies are intuitive, so I will just say for free that she probably gets like, oh, this person is nice. This person is nice and wants to keep me safe. And eventually, because this tadpole has had a very like long day, and it's only the afternoon, and it's already been a very long day. So they're just gonna like the babbling starts to drift off as their eyes slowly close, and they just kind of drift asleep as they are being like rocked and clucked at.
Yeah, it's, like, chickens are extremely warm. Like, I'm gonna say that, like, she can feel it through, like, the water in the glass. Like, yeah, it's safe. It's good.
Yeah, this is very safe. You see ticked off chicken, you see tiny little like cartoon Z's drifting out of the glass marble as this baby falls asleep.
Yeah, and I think that, like, maybe as we zoom out, the clucking, for a very broad definition of music, starts to sound a little bit like a lullaby. Um, Meanwhile, how is Phileap doing?
Oh no, he's not doing well. He was just going about his day like with his kiddos, and like Sally, his like one of his kids like wanted to be like at the front. They take turns, and while he was switching them out, the strap in his little baby carrier snapped, and his child went rolling, and he lost sight of her, and so he's not doing good. He's actually yeah. Oh, should I make a roll? Like, see how he's handling himself? Like, I'll do a wisdom save. Like,
That sounds about right.
no, that was like, sorry, that did not. I have a +4 to that. I just mind if I re-roll again because I did not add my.
Yeah, go ahead.
Dang it! Why?
I gently pat you.
I can't type today. I apologize.
Listen, it's just that sort of day.
Oh, the dice set. Oh, everyone, for those in the audience who are listening later, I rolled a straight D20, and it just was a 7, and then I rolled with my advantage, which was a +4, and I got a 6. So, yeah, he is panicking. Mm-hmm. He is absolutely distressed. His long noodle limbs are just going everywhere. It's like, someone help me. I haven't seen my baby. Has anyone seen my baby? He is going up to random strangers, saying, where's my baby? I lost my baby!
Oh, no. Oh, this poor frog.
Yeah, he's not thinking rationally. He's like, where's my baby?
Does he perhaps want to make a perception check? And it is up to you whether or not you want to impose a disadvantage, given his mental state.
Given his mental state, I think I have to, because he failed his wisdom save. He's, okay, perception check. And his... Where are you, sir? Sorry, I'm a slow tapper. There we go. There's the first one.
You're all right. Okay, a 14. And a 5. Oh, Phileap, my friend.
Yeah, he's looking at places where logically he knows the baby will not be. He's checking the air. He's checking inside of he's coming across hot dog vendor carts and looking up and checking in the brine of the hot dog. He's looking in trees. He is just checking everywhere. Still, noodle limbs flailing as he's looking for his kids. And I'll also mention the other kiddos. I don't know if they can. Actually, I'm just gonna roll a wisdom save for that, a perception for that, because babies are kind of empathetic, so I don't know if they sense how distressed their dad is. Oh, they don't. They think this is a great time. Yeah. So the four babies on his back are just having a blast because dad is running. Dad is moving all these different places. This is great.
Can perhaps the babies would like to roll perception?
Sure. Because they're babies, it just make everything kind of a flat D20. Oh, yeah. 14.
I mean, that makes it. I mean, they're not. It's a black chicken that now has a little spherical object underneath them. It's if it's grassy and sunny, they probably stick out pretty well. And the babies see, there's their sister. And their sister seems to be, tucked underneath a chicken a little bit and just being sung a lullaby. So to speak. It's still chicken noises.
That is still the cutest image. Yeah, the babies definitely start letting out, delighted chirps. It's oh, wow, you found a new friend. But, will the dad notice? Will the dad notice? Oh, honey.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. I mean, it is an FPS. They should meet at some point.
They should. You know what? I like to make this, just because I think it might be funny, he, is still checking in places a baby shouldn't be, and, he, doesn't hear his kids' delighted chirping, but he is checking under benches, checking in in other baby characters, and then he eventually just lifts up. I imagine he comes across the chicken, not saying anything because he's in such a panic, lifts the chicken up, And I imagine like the baby is just like the little baby is like still like tucked under like her floof with like and maybe held up by her claws by their claws. And then he puts the chicken down and starts looking again, freezes, and then turns back.
Yeah, he's being like glared down. Oh, that was not the best tactic to take. And they're already not impressed because they found your child unattended.
Oh no.
You can roll an insight on this chicken, but I'll tell you for free they're not happy.
Yeah, they're not named the TikTok chicken for nothing. Yeah.
Not today, they ain't.
I'm afraid that like he's just like so like he's just so happy he found his kid. I'm gonna tell you right now, he's not gonna roll an insight. He's just gonna be like grabbing for his kid, like, where'd you go? Where'd you go? I was like, Sally, there you are! And he like is just running arms forward to try and like, cradle his kid.
I think that they snap at him because they don't know that this is their dad.
He flinches back like, what are you? That's my kid. That's not yours. You need to give her back, okay?
They look down at Sally, like for signs of recognition.
Did she wake up from this? Is she still sleeping?
I mean, very good. That's up to you, my friend. Did you want to roll for it?
I'm just gonna roll a D2. Does one she wakes up, two she does not. She does not. She's still sound asleep. Oh no.
TFC will sign in sign language. Listen, I found this child completely unattended and extremely scared. I'm not handing them over until you can prove to me that you are their father.
Well, he kind of like blinks. It's like she was afraid. Because actually, do you want to make an insight check on this frog? Like
an insight check would actually be lovely.
Like, see if this frog bears any ill intentions.
Okay, just making sure because. Okay, that's a 24.
Nice. Oh yeah, you realize right away this frog is kind of like on the precipice of like kind of angry that like he was in like what do you mean like this, like why won't you let me see my kid? And then he's like distressed because you said she was afraid and she was scared, and you can tell this frog has had a bad day and was like already coming off the parental fear of like not being able to find his kid after his kid was lost. And since it's like over a 20, I'll let you know that they're like, I think TOC realizes that there is a backpack full of tiny tadpoles, like just kind of chirping delightedly, like,
yeah, they
like on his back, like, oh.
They are familiar with the parental sensation of having lost a child. They, like, Phileap, you are being stared the fuck down. They are, like, you for a second, it feels like this chicken sees into your soul. And then they soften. And, they very gently, move away from your kiddo and pick her up and hand them over.
Oh yeah, I'm actually gonna roll a little insight for like Phileap against like this chicken because a 10.
I mean, it's above average. I mean, I think that you get that like they like whatever they were looking at you and whatever they saw was enough to make them soften. Like it's good. And if they hadn't seen it, then they would have like defended this kiddo up to and beyond beating your butt. Like they in the the 5 minutes since your child was last seen, they have apparently a chicken grandparent now.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and it wouldn't be hard to kick this man's butt. He's a wizard. He's very squishy.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that hard. But he's just going to gently like cradle like the little marble, and just kind of like press his forehead to the glass surface. Just in like lets out a huge sigh of relief. There may be like some like the remnants of worry tears in his eyes. Like, oh, thank God, I was so scared. And I think like I want to say like that's when the kiddo wakes up and like she kind of blinks her eyes open and she just lets out a delighted chirp and nuzzles like Phileap back.
Oh, the chicken is feeling soft emotions. This is unacceptable. I think they like shuffle their feathers and like look away, like sort of gruffly, like yes, indeed. But no, they are very pleased to see this. Children should be with parents that love them.
He loves his kiddo so much. You hear he's kind of like letting out, the like kind of croaking sound frogs do, like, but it's just a very soft, low one, and he's like kind of giving that in return. So the kiddo is like extra soothed.
Mm.
And he like kind of like is about to like put her back like on the little like the little net like fanny pack looking thing on his front, and then like realizes, oh yeah, like the strap's not working, and just decides to like kind of carry her under her arm and just cradle her protectively. And he looks down at like the chicken, is like, thank you for doing that. You have no idea how scared I was when she came loose, and oh, thank you.
They sign back. I have some idea. I'm glad that you were able to find her. You could roll insight on that, or you couldn't. Depends on what Phileap would do. But they sign. She was very, very sweet. She didn't give me any trouble. What was her name?
Her name's Sally. I'm Phileap, by the way. Well, it's technically Phileap, but Phileap is just easier to say.
They sign a sign language hello. And with a 10, I don't think you'd get too much on this particular thing, other than there's a hint of something when they say that they understand. But they sign. It's good to meet you. I am TOC. They don't specify that their name is the ticked off chicken. I think you just think that their name is Talk, because that's how names work in sign language. You spell them out. But yeah, they look very like they seem to approve of this name, Sally.
Oh, he's like, well, I can't thank you enough. I was so worried when the strap of like my pack like broke, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I admit I panicked a bit. I was looking in trees for her and in the sky, which now that I look back on it wasn't a logical solution. But is there anything I can do to repay you? How can I thank you? Do you like coffee? I can buy coffee for you if you want. You get the feeling this frog's default state is babbling, so
they find that pretty endearing. It reminds them a little bit of their roommate Juniper. But yeah, they of course don't say that out loud. I think that they start to look a little bit offended that like they would need repayment for this, but then they look sort of thoughtful. They sign, I don't think I've ever had coffee.
Oh, well, I know quite a few places that are really good. I can buy you a cup. Like it's the least I can do for everything you did for me. Like it'll be my treat. Please, I insist.
They climb to their feet with their old person bones, and they gather up their book, which you can see they're not they're not like hiding the title that it's the Elven Widow, which I mean maybe he's seen Turpin read, maybe he hasn't.
Oh, I want to say like Turpin's babysat enough that he probably recognizes like the title, and he just kind of like he's not going to say anything at the moment, but he kind of approves. Like, oh yeah, that's a good book.
They signed. It is. It's a friend of mine recommended it. They have very good taste in books, I think.
Yeah, I've read yeah, one of my my ex-coworkers. I don't really work there anymore, but we're still friends. One of my friends like really likes that book. Sometimes he'll read like some of the smaller passages to the kiddos, like to help them sleep.
They they look very approving because they also read with their friend, and their friend often reads aloud to them because they have a little bit of trouble reading sometimes.
Aww.
But they they're in a slightly better mood than they were when they like nearly bit you when you reached Fury Kiddo. Just because, it's good to be reminded of Turpin. Turpin is good folks.
Oh.
I'm dying. It's for the audience. TOC knows Jackie. TOC knows Mac. TOC knows Turpin. TOC knows Phileap. I believe they now know all the janitors. Unless I'm forgetting someone. They don't know Luke.
The only one is Luke, though, if you know Phileap long enough, you'll probably know Luke. Luke and Phileap are roommates, so.
Perfect. But, like, the only people that they know each other in this group are Mac and Turpin.
We'll see how we'll see if that changes over time. I want to say, like, they eventually, like, make their way, like, over to, like, a nice little coffee shop and, like, like they like Phileap like asks like what the chicken would like to order, if he has any preferences, if he likes like things that are like overly, like if they're more sweet, or like if they like certain like stronger, if you want to try a stronger coffee, and like I'll let that be you.
I mean, this is a chicken. Chickens will eat like anything. Particularly vegetables. Vegetables are a treat for them. I think they look around for like, I mean, it doesn't say kale anywhere on the menu. That's disappointing. It doesn't say lettuce on the menu. That's also disappointing. It doesn't say garlic. But when you mention strong coffee, they're like, well, I am strong. Perhaps strong coffee would work.
Okay. I think, what were you gonna say?
Well, they signed some semblance of, I'll try a strong coffee.
He kind of blinks because he's like, oh, he wasn't expecting that. But then again, a lot of things that he wasn't expecting happened today. And I think like he says like, okay, well, I think there's like cold brew. I heard is pretty strong. Espresso's pretty strong. Like, do you like? And he kind of like looks at the tiny espresso cups and looks at the tiny chicken and thinks that would be adorable. And I think he orders him like a tiny espresso in a tiny little cup.
They are delighted by this. They like small things.
Good. And by the way, he also orders because like this man like has a sweet tooth. He orders like a pumpkin spice latte with like extra whipped cream for himself because pumpkin spice is good. And then he orders like little hot chocolates for the kids. And like he takes time to like basically like do the lids of the aquariums and like puts them on little puts them on like little ice cubes so the kids can like kind of suck on them without like like contaminating the water they're like laying in, and they're just like enjoying their little treat while Phileap like drinks his coffee.
God, that's adorable. And TOC tries their espresso, and they just dip their beak in and like tilt their head back and just go, because that's how chickens drink. And I mean, I think they stop and they consider. Because just given how coffee tastes, and given that they are a chicken who has never had it before, I think they're just like, well, if I was going to be poisoned, I think that they would have made it good to drink, so I would want to keep drinking it. So it's probably not poison. But what the fuck is it then?
I'm gonna roll like an insight to see if you like. Oh, a 9.
That's a 9. I mean, they have a bad resting bitch face. Like they look like that all the time.
Like, yeah, like you said you wanted something strong, and that's one of the strongest ones there. I'm not much of a strong coffee drinker myself. Like, I'm actually trying to cut back. I drink far too much. It was funny one time. One of my coworkers, Turpin, I invited him over to like talk and everything, and I sort of drank decaf instead of regular coffee, and then I passed out. I scared the dickens out of him.
I'm sorry. I did not catch this, FPS. I must listen to it post-haste. I think they go back to take another sip, and then they pause, and they sign, Turpin, as in scarf, and they do a sort of a Turpin's face with like their eyes looking kind of done.
Yeah, Phileap blinks
like the neutral face of displeasure, but it's just Turpin's face.
Yes. He's like, yeah, absolutely. It's like, wait, you know Turpin? Oh, he was one of my coworkers. He babysits my kids. Oh, isn't that a small world? And he's like kind of delighted. It's like, oh, he likes Turpin. Yeah.
They also look extremely delighted, and they take out the book. It's like, he was the one who recommended this to me.
Oh, wow. I think like if you I have not listened to the player have not listened to the Turpin and like chicken FPS, but is that is this the book? Is the book that the chicken has like Turpin's copy of it, like his personal copy?
They were the one who bought Turpin's copy for him at the same time that they got this book. Like they just bought so that's copies.
Okay. Because if that was Turpin's copy, there would probably be some water damage because, like, anytime you babysit the kids, you get wet. So, like...
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, wow, it's such a small world. Yeah. I've listened to that book. Like, he was really glad to get his own copy of it. Like, he really enjoyed it, and he loved reading it to the kids.
They look very pleased with this. Like, it's good. Turpin being happy is good. And then they look thoughtful and they sign, do you know a large red snake named Mac?
The eyes get a lot bigger. It's like, yes. Wait, do you know Mac?
They nod. They pull, hang on. They pull out from their hammer space with a very artful magician's flourish, a notepad, and they flip past a couple of different letters that they seem to be in the process of writing, and there is one addressed to Mac. And they sort of subside and they sign. Have you heard from Mac recently?
He kind of, I don't know where this is happening timeline wise, but Phileap will kind of like bite his lip and like, he said kind of like, do you want to roll an insight on this frog? Cause
absolutely, I'll roll an insight. It's a dirty 20.
Yeah, he looks like very worried, like, oh, like cause like, this worry is coming from like a place of like care, like he cares about Mac and like he doesn't, like he says like I've seen him recently but not as recently as I'd liked. I actually was gonna ask if you knew if he was doing all right. He seems distracted. And I like, and part of it is because like, I sort of quit my job. It was not a healthy working environment, and that's how we met each other. And well, yeah, I'm worried about him.
when you say that bit about your job, they look extreme. Like, they've heard a lot about this job by now. And I will say, by the way, there are just things that, like, POC can't know yet, because they're roommates with Juniper. And Juniper and the place where Phileap and Mac and Turpin all worked are mixed up in some plot shenanigans. So there's just stuff that is unlockable for them, or unlockable, I should say.
Yeah.
But they are slowly piecing together that whoever, whatever's going on has to do with the work environment, and it sounds like they might need to kill a bitch.
Yeah.
Well, they don't know about it yet, but they signed...
like I'd say with...
Go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, with the Dirty 20, you realize, he, like, anytime he mentions the job, he, like, gets, like, a bit angry. Like, he gets, like, a very, like, this frog doesn't look like he angers very easily, but, like, yeah, this is, like, he's angry about, like, about his job, and he is worried that, like, Mac is still there.
I think we signed, Mac and I did, an odd job a few months ago now, and we've been keeping up through letters. I know that there are things that he does not tell me, but when I met Turpin and Mac came up in conversation, they also asked if I had seen him. I would have liked to I would like to have been able to give him and you more information, but it's... And they sort of shuffled their feathers, and you see a lot of the same emotions that you're going through, angered in, or mirrored in this little chicken. Like, not as specifically, like, they don't know exactly what's going on, but they are worried. And they're mad. Because they like Mac. And anyone who is mean to Mac for any period of time is just simply not worth bothering with.
Mm-hmm. I will also roll an insight, see how much I get of that. Oh,
you
yeah.
Get all of it.
Like,
and you also...
He picks up what this chick is putting down.
Yeah. And you also get, I think that, like, with a 23, my gosh, they are... Like, the care that they have for Mac is sort of vaguely familial. Like, the snake is probably not directly related to the chicken, but, like, this is someone that TOC just would like to be okay, wants to see thrive and, grow up strong and happy.
It's so good. He, like, yeah, we definitely, like, picks up on that, and he just kind of nods, like, okay, like, I wasn't sure about this chicken, like I wasn't able to, like, pick up much about this chicken, but I'm so glad that, like, Mac has got this chicken on their corner, because they seem a little bit terrifying.
God.
Listen, you, like, the TikTok chicken does not know this, but I will say, first Janitor's game, Phileap was a little bit terrified of Jackie, which is, this frog scares easily, and he got on Jackie's, like, bad side at first. So, like, yeah, he's, like, he's a bit of a nervous, like, cowardly frog. Like, he'll do his best, but he scares very easily.
It probably doesn't help that chickens eat frogs.
Oh, yeah, probably not. Probably not. There is some instinctual primal fear, like, oh, do not get on this chicken's bad side.
Well, that aside, the chicken will like sort of pat your hand fondly in like a grandparently sort of way, and just be like, it. I have been hoping to track down Max sooner rather than later. If you like, I can give you as much of an update as he'll let me when that happens.
I'll do the same. I'll definitely do the same.
Mm. They nod solemnly. The pact is sealed.
The pact is sealed.
Mm. I think they just sort of pensively like they take another sip of their espresso, and this time like they hold it in a wing and like sip it like a person, and then they're like, "Oh, that's right, it tastes like that." Oh, I had forgotten.
I'm gonna roll another insight check, see if like he picks up like, oh, this is not good. This does not taste good. Oh.
I mean, they kind of wear their heart on their sleeve. Maybe that's enough. I'll roll a deception. You pick up sort of a vague, just sort of like,
Oh, is it too strong? Like, or like too bitter? Like, I know, like, I know some people don't really like the bitter drinks. You can try some of mine if you like. And like, he takes the lid off of his coffee and like, he kind of like, if like the chicken like gives their consent, he's gonna pour a little bit of like the sugary like and whipped cream filled monstrosity that is his coffee like into like the ticked off chicken's tiny cup.
I think they will try it again, and they look thoughtful. Like that's better. I will say for the audience, they are strongly reminded of their roommate, who is also very sweet, and also is associated with all things pumpkin because she goes fucking apeshit over Halloween. And so they're just like, okay, alright. But of course, Phileap does not know their roommate, so he does not get this.
Nope. Phileap is clueless. He's just like trying to thank this chicken who saved his kid. The kid is, by the way, like he's got like the little marble shaped like fanny pack carrier like on his knee, and he's kind of like gently bouncing it. And the kid is just like, and Sally's just having a good time being gently bounced, sucking on the little hot chocolate treat.
Gosh. Man. They like every once in a while they'll like sort of chirp at her, like just sort of like almost in a sort of a peekaboo sort of way.
Oh, the kiddo is delighted by this, and will like try and play peekaboo back by just like hiding her face in her tail, and then like bringing her tail like forward to like reveal her face.
Gosh, Dee, I'm dying. I'm dying, and so is the chicken.
Listen. I have so many cute scenarios for these babies. I have like 5 on hand at all times.
God. I think that they actually sign. I was never lucky to have had any of my my younger ones as kids. My siblings I met as adults, mostly, and my daughter, she's about 14.
Oh, it's a different experience. I kind of grew up in a bigger family, so I would help out with babysitting on occasion, but I never was really allowed to handle like any of my family members as tadpoles, and it's different. It's fun. It's like it's a good experience, but it's definitely different. Like, and he's kind of like he gets like a very fond but also kind of worried glance. It's like the little ones are so fragile, and like I always worry that it's not enough, you know?
They nod emphatically at that. I think they sign. I don't think that ever goes away. That feeling that well, you always want to do what's right for them. You always want to give them well, everything, anything, whatever you can in the world.
Hmm. Do you want to roll another insight on this frog?
Absolutely. Dirty 20.
Oh, yeah, with the dirty 20, like you get that like he gets like kind of very fond, like kind of nostalgic smile, but there's still a bit of sadness there, and you get a feeling that like he's not like he's thinking about his kids, but he's also not thinking about his kids, and the thing that and whatever else he's thinking about, that's the thing that's kind of making him kind of like wistfully sad.
Mm.
And I'd say with the dirty 20, he's thinking about his family because he did bring it up.
Mm. Let me roll a D. Two. Damn, okay. They they look very pensively into their pumpkin spice espresso. And that they, after a while, they sign. Growing up, so to speak, I was the protector. Me and my sisters. I was the one who would step between them and the danger. And I I have outlived them. But I have other people that I would like to do the same for, who I would like to protect. It is the people who you love, I think. Wherever you go, whoever else you meet, I think they stay with you.
Oh, do you want to do another insight, or you just want to stick with the dirty 20? Because
I want to stick with the dirty 20 because I'm curious.
He like the minute you say you had sisters and that you were the protector, he gets a look on his face like he looks kind of shocked, like, and he like kind of nods along as you're talking, like how familiar that is, and he looks genuinely heartbroken and sympathetic when you mention that you outlived them, and it's like, oh, hey, tipped off chicken, I think you can relate to this frog more than you realize.
Jeez. I think I want
You unlocked some pretty backstory, my friend.
Oh boy. I think that when they meet his eyes, they sort of give him like an inviting nod, like, do you want to talk about it, stranger I met 10 minutes ago?
It's like, I can't talk about, like, he looks like, I'll go with that dirty 20 again. He looks like he really wants to talk about it, but also like he can't. Like, it is not physically impossible, but there is an outside reason why he can't talk about it, but he looks like he desperately wants to, and he knows exactly what you mean, and he's so glad that he like has met someone who is like gone through what he has.
I think
I think he eventually just kind of says like, no, you go first.
Nah, I'll speak after you. They would be more in a listening mood. I thought that was the lag, not them like speaking. Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. I think the only thing you would be say is like, I don't think I've ever met someone who's understood that. Yeah. It's funny when you protecting the people we can. I love my family, but, well, I want to do better with the kids. That's kind of all he says. Like, he wants to say so much more, but he ends with, I want to do better with my kids.
Man, inside the mind of TOC, they're just like, well, okay, another one, huh? All right. I mean, I already like the kids were a no-brainer, but like the dad too, okay. Sorry, you have grandparent now. I don't make the rules. But they consider this and they say we have only just met, but anything that you would like to tell me, I promise I would take to my grave. But if you cannot, then simply know that you are not alone. And that whatever is
kind
happening...
Oh. No, you go ahead. Go ahead. Like, I will wait till...
They sign. Whatever is happening... Don't go into it not expecting other people to follow. Because that is how being cared about works.
He kind of, he gives the ticked up chicken like a very grateful smile, and this guy is like a happy crier. There are like tiny little tears like peeking over the corner of his eyes that he's like trying to wipe away. Like,
Aww.
He really appreciates it. Yeah.
I think they just sort of...
You
go ahead.
He's like a thank you. You don't know what that means to me.
They think they actually might, but also that's a shitty thing to say. So, I think they like take another sip of their pumpkin spice espresso, this terrible monstrosity that you have made for them. They sign.
I will add. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I keep interrupting you. I'm sorry. I was just going to say there's probably like whipped cream and sprinkles on the top because that's what was on his drink. So
perfect. There's probably like they go to take a sip just sort of to give him a moment of privacy, and when they come up, there's like a little like whipped cream mustache on the top of their beak.
The kids are delighted and looking between. Sally is looking between the chicken and like her dad, like, oh my gosh, you guys match. And happily wiggling her tail.
They make a little like show of it, like, I don't know what you're talking about. I always look this way, and then they'll eventually wipe the whipped cream off.
Sally is like letting out delighted little like chirps of laughter, and as are the other kids, and Phileap is definitely like chuckling as well.
Gosh. I think that they just like they probably start telling you a story about Marigold, their daughter, who is an 7 foot tall metal centaur. And listen, don't worry about it. And they tell you about their family ? Nebula, who they don't really have a label for, but he's been adopted. Let's be honest. And they tell you about their little brother Trini and their very little sister Victrola, and about her dance recital. Like they just sort of like, this is a lot of what their letters are. Honestly, it's just like, here's what the people I care about are doing.
Aww.
Like
it's so good.
Yeah, they're just like it might remind him of like sitting with like a gossipy grandmother, or like an uncle or something who has more news about the extended family than you do. Like, yeah, like they're you know, they're just chatting because yeah.
I think like Phileap definitely just like drinks his like sugary monstrosity and listens to like the ticked off chicken like talk just with like a very like, you know, kind smile on his face as he listens, and it's like in the back of his mind is like, huh, you know, normally I'm the one who's like talking about like my kids. It's weird to be on the other end of this, but it's very nice.
I mean, if he wants to speak up, like they will listen avidly.
I will say after like I think like when there's a break in the conversation, he will pull out his own photo album of like I say like photo album of, like I mean like the wallet of like all the pictures of the kiddos, like, and you see like you see one where like he's like standing in front of like some of like a tank of like little like they look a bit like oh my god, like those little you know, the like Thai iced tea. Like it looks like a giant thing of Thai iced tea, but you realize, oh no, those are the eggs. Those are the kiddos as eggs.
Oh, they look like
and
boba?
Then they're like, you know, they look like boba as eggs.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like you see them like pictures of them hatched. You see like there was one photo of like Turpentine like in a bathtub with the kiddos, and like the kiddos are all like just like sleeping on top of Turpentine, and the yellow and red baby that he like Phileap points out as Polly is like gnawing on Turpin's scarf hand and will not let go.
Oh my gosh.
And there is like yeah, and there are pictures of Mac. There are pictures. I think there are like one or two pictures of Jackie too. But like, I don't like if like we want to save that little piece of lore for later. We could say like the ticked off chicken doesn't notice that.
Perhaps they get like shuffled to the back of the wallet by accident, and he has to find them later. Because like they have no like they know Mac and Turpin know each other. Now they know Phileap knows Mac and Turpin. They have no clue any of the three of them know Jackie.
And there are definitely like pictures of Luke in there too, but like if you want to save that for later, like I'll say that like they also get shuffled in the back, but they're like all the janitors have met like Phileap's kids, and they're like there are cute pictures of all of them.
I think they could probably, you know, they don't have a name to the face, but they know Luke. Or they know what Luke looks like, I guess.
Yeah, there was like one picture of like a nobody like just like spoon feeding like the little green and yellow baby. Like you get a feeling that like each of the janitors, so to speak, has like a baby has kind of like attached themselves to that particular janitor, and they all have favorites.
Oh no! Oh gosh!
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Guess who's like a favorite Sally is?
I'm gonna guess Mac.
It's actually you, but yeah.
Oh shit! Oh no, yeah. He's been adopted too.
Oh no, you've fallen into the trap. This baby now will like loves you so much and has been staring at you this whole time.
You have given the grandparent bird baby pictures, and also like a treasured grandchild.
I know, my evil plan is coming into fruition.
My God. They will sit there as long as like Phileap wants to with them, and just like they you know, there are times when you bring out the family photos and people are like, sure, great. And then there are times when like people like want to hear about your family and all the stories and all the stuff. Like, just, yeah. Oh, hello?
Oh, that was... I didn't say anything. I was just listening.
Sorry. But yeah.
You're okay. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this is, despite the name, this is a very patient bird. They are good to chill as long as Phileap lives.
Oh. Yeah, and he's like a pretty like this is probably like the most relaxed he's been in like a little while because he's an anxious creature. Like but he's having a good time just like drinking coffee and talking to this very polite chicken who saved his kid. And I think eventually, like, after their coffee is done, he will like kind of like I want to say he'd open up like the idea like oh like if you ever want to visit like the kid, I'm sure the kids would love to meet you again or like I could visit you like he definitely wants to like establish that like little bond because yeah the kid like the Sally is now like very attached to the ticked off chicken.
Can we say that like Sally's like little hamster ball is now like balanced like between their wings on their back?
Yes, absolutely.
Mm.
She's having a good time.
Yeah.
I will say though. Oh, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I keep interrupting you, but I think her siblings get a little bit jealous and they all want to turn riding on the chicken's back. So
yeah, they will be buried under babies if this is like they're probably not like walking around with all the tadpoles, but like they are very okay with like letting them roll around over them and like bump at them and pull on feathers. Like babies get good enrichment.
Yeah, they can't do much because they're in their tank, but like I think Phileap like will take the time to like take Sally out of the small marble and put her in the big tank and then like switch the babies like out, like each of the babies out, and so they have a turn in the marble and so they can be carried around by the ticked off chicken for a little bit.
Perfect. When Phileap mentions going over to their house, they look for a second very excited because somewhere in the deluge they did tell him about their garden, which they are very excited about. But their face falls and they go, well, it's as much as I and my roommate would love to have you all over. She in particular needs to be a little bit careful about guests. But I will say that I babysit my little sister Victrola very frequently. I hope that you won't hesitate to reach out if ever the situation occurs. And they give you the address that they can be reached by letter, and like sort of the let's keep in touch, but like sincere.
Aww. He gratefully accepts that, and it's like he's like he really likes this chicken. Like he's only met like a day like today, but he really likes them, and he will graciously accept that and like kind of like hand to the chicken like his own address, and yeah, they are exchanging information so they can hang out later.
I think the last thing that they probably say before they go is like they start to sign something and then they stop and they consider. And then they just like look at him very seriously and they go, take care of yourself. And I know that you will take care of your children, but you must take care of yourself as well.
Phileap kind of blinks and like he kind of nods. And do you want to do one more insight check for the road or?
Sure. 23.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say it was a low one, but like he kind of has this look on his face like he's genuinely trying, but it's hard. Like he's learning how to self-care, but it's like his self-care routine kind of went out the window when he had kids, and he's relearning how to like take care of himself. Like he's trying and he's gonna keep trying.
Yeah, it's I think that they stop and they go, this is an odd question, given that we've only just met, but can I give you a hug?
Okay, you don't need an insight check for this. He just his lip kind of wibbles and he nods. He loves hugs and he just kind of reaches out his noodle arms to hug you.
Mm. It is very warm and very secure and very fluffy because chickens radiate body heat, and also this is a barbarian. Like this.
Yeah, this man is crying.
Oh.
They're like tiny little happy tears because he's a happy crier. And oh, hugs are good. Hugs are nice. This hug is kind of maybe a bit sticky because he's frog, but you know what? It's good.
They have hugged worse. Yeah. I think that we might actually just like pan out on the shot of them just like it's a long hug, but not in an awkward way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, we just sort of
the babies are leaning.
Say again?
I was gonna say the babies are trying to hug through the glass.
Ah.
So it's a big group hug.
Perfect. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, this is so soft.
I think we're ending it there. We end with the soft group hug.
We surely do. Alright, thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you all so much for listening.
Yes, thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.